Now we will go Giants at Eagles. Eagles by 12. That's lovely. Tommy DeVito and Jalen Hurts. That's same level, right? For Tommy DeVito, it is the I can't even find him. Oh, there he is. Second best matchup for Tommy DeVito. Jalen Hurts, 17th best matchup. I don't think it's going to be that close in my rankings. It is Jalen Hurts at 2. Tommy DeVito way down at 20. 20 scared the freaking shit out of me. 23. Would you like to discuss the quarterbacks here while I briefly resuscitate my heart after your Holy shit.
This is
I was on the other screen and didn't know there was a kid in the room, and all of a sudden I thought it sounded like my surround sound speakers are on. I thought my kid was home behind me. Fucking
You're like, no, what the heck happened? Yeah, I know. Sorry about that. She's watching some YouTube show. So it's Jalen Hurts like by a bajillion miles. But if you want to go DeVito this route, I'm playing him in a league, and I'm actually fine with it. Like Philadelphia's defense is not good. This is what I'm talking about. So if you need a desperation QB2, like you can fire up DeVito. He's going to give you fantasy points. The Philadelphia defense is just not what we thought it was. It's kind of crumbled this season. So it should be an interesting game. They might force some turnovers from DeVito, but he has a high rushing floor, so I'm fine playing DeVito if you desperately need to play him. He's my QB 22 this week.
Yeah, I agree. Running backs here. Where are we? 10th best matchup for the Eagles. Worst matchup for the Giants. This one scares the hell out of me. Barkley's the easy one to start for me, even though I hate the matchup. He's my highest ranked. I think he's at 25 for me. 23 for me. One spot above DeAndre Swift, who's at 23 and 25. One spot above DeAndre Swift, who I think is talented, but as we seen last week, if he goes down on the one, he's not going to get the touchdown. He doesn't score. This is the problem. The tush push is killing DeAndre Swift. Aside from that, my next bet would be Gainwell, who's down at 46. So I think you have two low-end playable running RB2s here. I'm not thrilled to have either of them in my lineup, but if you haven't, you probably have to start them, but it's terrifying. What do you think?
Yeah. This is the issue with Swift. He's kind of seen his snap share limit in the 60s and the 50s lately because Gainwell's playing a role. So he's getting some Gainwell cutting into it. And then Hurts takes all the high value touches like you're talking about. So really, I don't want to play Swift this week. Like he seems very much like a floor play. And if you're playing a floor play in the championship games, like semifinal, like you probably have a better option. So I know he has the name cachet and just a good offense, but it's just not a good situation. Barkley's still top 14 for me. It's just because he gets all of the work. Even though a bad matchup, he's going to get a ton of volume and he's going to be involved. So I much prefer Barkley.
I just don't think they stay in it. And if he gets any points, it's going to have to be on pass catching. But okay, so I'm going to have to, I don't know if this is just a memory issue. Do you remember them doing the tush push last year? I remember this becoming a thing maybe. Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I don't understand why through the first 4 weeks, Swift was getting all. I know Gainwell was out, but Swift wasn't losing touchdowns like he is now. And have they just ramped up the tush push where they're just using it more? Or did they not start using it for the first month of the season? Or
their offense has struggled the last month, so it's not clicking the same. So I think they're
so they're over relying on it.
I think so. I think that's what it is. Like I remember the game against Seattle. It seemed like they ran tush push like 6 times. I was like,
I don't remember the first when Swift had his 3 or 4 week hot streak after Gainwell went out. I don't remember. Like I had him. I don't remember going, oh, we're in the red zone. Shit, Swift is going to lose out again to a tush push. But now it just seems inevitable. Like he tripped over his own lineman. What was it? Jason Kelsey on the one. Mm-hmm. And you're going, well, fuck, there goes the Swift touchdown. Like you knew he wasn't going to get it. And sure enough, he didn't get it. So,
I mean, it makes sense. Hurts is a freaking tank back there. So I 100% understand why they're doing it. He's massive human. So that, what gives him this giant
every time he touches the ball, they bring up that he bench presses 600 pounds. That's how often they bring it up that I know what Jalen Hurts bench presses.
He's freaking built like a tank, man. It's wild. He's huge.
Moving on to the wide receivers here. We have 5th best matchup for the Eagles and the best matchup for the Giants, which may account for why Wandell was so high in my rankings. He's not going to be that high when I'm done. AJB is my 2. Devontae Smith will be next. He is at 20 for me. Wandale Robinson is next, and I moved him down. He's somewhere in the 40s, 43. He's in Gabe Davis, Romeo Dobbs territory here. I don't hate him. If I had to start a Giant, it would be Wandale Robinson. I'm starting both Eagles receivers. I don't really want to have to start anyone else. How about you?
Yep, I'm with you. AJB is the wide receiver 1. Like this, he's going to cook this week, so I'm all aboard the AJB train. The Giants, like they struggle against these colors, particularly someone as physically talented as AJ Brown. Devontae Smith, he's top 20. Like he's a really good wide receiver. I get it, they struggle. But hey, stop, please, thank you. And Wan'Dale Robinson is wide receiver 40. He's the dart throw if you want to throw a dart throw on any Giants wide receiver. He's a PPR scam, so he should get some points in usage.
Tight end, 16th best matchup for Waller, 26th best matchup for Goddard. I probably have them both ranked just on the outside of the top 12. Goddard at 14, Waller at 15. So, 14, 15. Having said that, I don't want to start either of them if I don't have to. They both don't. I mean, Waller had a more steady role last week than Goddard. His injury is always a risk. Goddard is a risk of injury and doesn't seem to be getting the target share. I'd like to avoid both if I can. As far as kickers go, we have Jake Elliott gets the 22nd best matchup, 25th best matchup for Randy Bullock on the Giants. I think that's who's still kicking there. My highest is Elliott at 11, so you can play him. And I want nothing to do with Bullock or whoever the Giants kicker ends up being. The DSTs are a little more interesting. As I said in our last question, I have the Eagles at 2. They are a must start for me. The Giants are at 31 for me. They are an absolute avoid. Obviously, great matchup for the Eagles, terrible matchup for the Giants. What do you think here to close this one out?
Yeah, I'm with you. You're firing up the Eagles defense everywhere you have them because you know the situation. And like it could be a snowball situation or quicksand where it just kind of just deteriorates more and more for DeVito. They kind of force it, more turnovers happen. It's a blowout. I don't fully expect that to happen, but I think that's in the range of outcomes with those guys. And yeah, like the tight end range, Goddard saw 9 targets last week, which seemed weird that they were very much involving him in the offense. So we'll see if that sticks. It's kind of hard to trust it with Goddard because he's competing with AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. And if you need follow-up Waller, like, yeah, go for it. They have no other pass catchers, so it's him and Wan'Dale. Really don't trust anyone else in the offense.